Hi, I'm Mohammad Yaaseen Edoo. I am 28 years old. I am physically disabled and confined on a wheelchair since birth. I have never been to primary school in my life. In fact, it was a friend who recommended me to participate in the Outstanding Young Person because he said that my life is inspirational. I stayed at home with my mom until some people from the Ministry of Health discovered me. They said that I should go to a specialized school. They got me registered to the Training and Employment of Disabled Persons Board. There I was lucky enough that I met a primary school teacher. His name is Mr. Rishi Bandhu, and he discovered my potential. He talked about me with the general manager at that time, Mr. Ajay Thakur. Both of them so that I should sit for the CPE exams. They made all the necessary arrangements. But unfortunately, at that time, the deadline was met. Finally, I sat for the CPE exams. That was in 2001. I succeeded brilliantly, and then I pursued my secondary studies at Professor Hassan Rafai State Secondary School. There I completed my school certificate and my higher school certificate. I wanted to pursue my studies, and I went to the Université de Mascareignes, enrolled for a BSc Honours in Multimedia and Web Technologies, which I succeeded brilliantly, and last year I got my graduations. In my life I also faced a lot of challenges. Some people wanted to stop providing me with the transport facility which I received. For example, it was a van with an elevator which can lift me with my wheelchair and got me into the van, and this transport was very helpful to me during my college and even tertiary studies. We did a lot of arrangement, we did a lot of things, we went everywhere so that I can continue to benefit from this facility. Other challenges that I faced also during my college time, that in my college there was no ramp facilities, so the rector built new ramps for me so that I can move around, and also all my classes was being carried out in ground floor. For my computer sessions, I did it in the administrative office, and for library, my friends used to brought books for me and magazines. I am also involved socially for persons with disabilities, to campaign for the rights of persons with disabilities. For this, I am the leader member of Leonard Cheshire Disabilities Young Voices, which is in fact a global network of young persons with disabilities whose aims is to advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities so that we live a life with dignity, with all the facilities that we want. I am also a global youth ambassador on education for an international organization called A Wall at School, and I am also a member of Global Partnership on Children with Disabilities Youth Council from the UNICEF, and I am also the first winner of the first ever Queen's Young Leaders Award. I believe I should be the Outstanding Young Person of 2015 because it's very rare that we get someone who has never been to primary school and yet has been able to manage to be a degree holder. This is a very rare case. We do not find people like this because it requires a lot of courage, of perseverance, of positive attitude to be able to succeed. If I win the Outstanding Young Person, I will continue to do my advocacy for persons with disabilities, and my projects will be based mainly on inclusive education, accessibility and employment, because Mauritius is a signatory and has signed and ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. If these articles are implemented, then every person with a disability will be able to lead a normal life like everyone. But I will work on these three because inclusive education, it concerns hearing impaired persons with disabilities, and because since In Mauritius, we do not have trained teachers for sign language. They are not able to receive an education. As for the accessibility, it concerns mainly people like me in my situation, the wheelchair user, because in Mauritius we do not have an accessible transport system. So even if we secure a job, we will not be able to go to the place of work because we do not have accessible transport in Mauritius, and also our infrastructure are not accessible. If I'm not mistaken, in the Building Act there is a line which mentions that every new buildings should be equipped with ramps for wheelchair users and other facilities for other types of persons with disabilities. But at the same time, we must also cater for all buildings. All buildings, there is still a lot of work to do. Still, they are not accessible. For example, even at my university, Université Mascareignes, it's not accessible because it's an old building, and for this I will urge the government to make sure that old as well as new buildings are accessible with ramps. And finally, employment, because even there are persons with disabilities who are very well qualified who are not able to get a job because company do not recruit us. They have to make sure that everything is accessible so that we can work properly, to give us all the facilities, and to give facilities for persons with disabilities. The company has to invest a lot. The government also is putting pressure on companies to recruit persons with disabilities. Myself, I will instead urge the government to first themselves give the example, start recruiting people with disability in government, in ministries, and in other government bodies, so that it encourages and motivates companies to recruit persons with disabilities.